The most deceitful, but also ingenious and common place that the enemy can hide is in Scripture. It's more specifically just a set of principles, a set of verses. If you turn with me to 1 Corinthians 13:13. Again, that's 1 Corinthians 13:13. And now abide faith, hope, and love, these three, but the greatest of these is love. Aside from my family, if you were to ask me who I love the most, it'd be Daisy. She's just the sweetest little kitty in the world. They get down to snuggle with me when I get down, even though I'm trying to do something else, but I don't mind good snuggle time. She's she's very affectionate with me. She always sleeps on my bed. Always lets me pet her really. It's great. It's almost like an unconditional type love. But I think about it for a second or two and it's really not. Honestly, this idea of unconditional love is something that humans and animals alike will just never have. Because if a person is mean to you, or if an animal is mean to you, or if a person is abusive to you, or if an animal always treats you badly, then you'll find it very hard to love them, and you probably won't love them. In fact, you'll probably want to stay as far away from them as you can. But why do I say, why did I open this saying the most deceitful places the enemy can hide is Scripture? Well, we look at this idea of love. There's several definitions of love. There's agape love, there may even be judgmental love, there's that love between a man and a woman. There, ultimately, all love on earth in this world is conditional. God is unconditional. God is agape love. God is that love that says, hey, love, my love covers up a multitude of sins. And the greatest, actually, Jesus said when asked, the greatest commandment is basically love. He said it's to love your God, and to love the Lord your God, and to love your neighbor as yourself. But we get it confused. Like I say, God the other than conditional, and we thank heaven for that. We thank God for that. But we get it confused. Especially other time today, people get confused between love and salvation. Love is not God's love, especially, is not the same as salvation. Salvation requires a heart change. Salvation requires, which we cannot give the utmost holy life, I'm not saying that. Even Noah and Abraham, the people say The Bible says they righteous men, they did not give sin yes, but that's something for another time. But we get confused, and why we get confused is we're confused on the idea of Yah. First of all, we have it in our head that Yah means acceptance, that Yah means, and I guess in some sense it does, but not the acceptance that these people are looking for. We have it in our head that Yah means acceptance, Yah means, oh, I'm just gonna, whatever it is you do, I'm just gonna love you, it doesn't matter to me. I mean, whatever it is you do, it's fine with me. Whatever makes you happy. Whatever brings you temporary satisfaction in the moment, it just, I love you so much that, well, no. God loved you. Yeah, like I say, God loved you inasmuch to let you walk away. But salvation requires a holy transformation from the Lord. Salvation requires putting off your old self and putting on the armor of God. But it's easier and easier to get it, unfortunately, confused with this unconditional love that we say that God has. I mean, people say, oh, you're Christian, you're supposed to love me. You're supposed to love me, I God loves me. Well, God has a tough love about him. I mean, he has a love that can break you down and reach into the deepest, darkest parts of yourself and pull who he's always known you to be out of you. Because he made you. He knows your innermost being. He knows your innermost parts. He knows what will ultimately bring you joy, even if you do not. He knows what you're looking for, even if you don't. Unfortunately, there's more and more people that get this unconditional love confused with the idea of salvation. And that's what the devil ultimately wants. The devil wants you to focus on one kind of love. The devil wants you to focus on the love that you think that God has. He has unconditional love, but his unconditional love cannot be set apart from the tough love that he has. They ingrained with each other. That's what unconditional love ultimately is. It's tough love. It's the kind of love that says, okay, you wanted me to accept you for who I am, for who you are. I'm not going to do that, but I am going to leave you alone to your own devices. I am going to give you free will. I'm not going to interfere in as much as I am going to interfere in as much as I can, in as much as my nature will allow me, but I won't interfere to the point that I strip you of your free will, because Your free will is a part of the love that I have for you. It's a part of the unconditional love that I have for you. More and more people, basically there's the art of evil that can come in the form of theological doctrine. There's evil that can say, these false prophets that can say, oh, God loves everyone. God loves you just as you are. Just you don't have to change anything about yourself. Just as you are, God loves you. Well, yes and no. He loves you unconditionally in as much as he can. But that love did not equate to the ultimate love he had for you and the ultimate feeling of love that he had for you, which is his salvation. He brought his salvation to us so that we can experience the love as it was truly meant to be experienced. And if people don't take on the burden of the change, the burden of setting down their own self to put on the arm of God to be a new creation, so God can give them a new heart, they won't experience his love fully, which is ultimately the salvation that he brought to us. But, like I say, too, the devil is a crafty servant. And the devil will just tell them, because they want to listen. You can only really tell someone something or get through to someone something if they want to listen, if they're enticed by it. The devil tells them, oh, God's unconditional love. God's unconditional love, it just means that you can do whatever it is you want to do and you can go to heaven or whatever have you like that, or you can go. God will love you regardless that he would just hand you salvation. They go hand in hand. But they really don't. God's the only one who has unconditional love, and God's the only one who understands unconditional love and understands how powerful a weapon or helper it can be. Guys, I love you. I pray that there can be such war going on between unconditional love and salvation, and what a part each plays in each other. But the reality of God is so much more than the devil's idea of unconditional love, the devil's idea of all the idea of unconditional love for you. It's a heart change. Guys, I love you. I'll be praying for you, and I'll see you next week.